Fourth oral question, Lord Harris of Pentragarth.
I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper.
My Lords, the Government has announced that the UK will establish a humanitarian sponsorship pathway which will open up a route to the UK for Ukrainians who may not have family ties with the UK, but who are able to match with individuals, charities, businesses and community groups. There will be no numerical limit on this scheme. We will welcome as many Ukrainians as wish to come and have matched sponsors.
I thank the Minister for her answer, which is very welcome indeed. Rabbi Jonathan Romain in Maidenhead advertised locally for people willing to offer rooms to Ukrainian refugees, and within days he had 240 offers. I believe, my Lords, that that could be replicated all over the country. So I'm very glad that the Government has given that answer. But would I ask her that to be able, the people who come here with a named host and named accommodation, to have their process actually undertaken in this country, rather than having to go through a long and very unsatisfactory visa process via Paris or Brussels. Poland and Germany have shown very open hearts, and I believe that the British people will do the same.
Well, I would totally agree with the Noble Lord that the British people will be very, very generous. And in fact, just before we started questions, the Right Reverend Prelate, the Bishop of Durham, told me about a church-based organisation that had already had 891 pledges. They are fantastic figures. And I think the Noble Lord is absolutely right that we need to, well, we do need to have them in the country first, and then we need to expedite that process as quickly as possible. But one thing I'm very keen to do is actually capture that enthusiasm and help and offer a support as soon as we can.
So in light of the answer the Noble Lady's just given, can she say whether there is going to be an opportunity for people to apply for visas in this country rather than being kept at Calais? And secondly, the Secretary of State for Defence on the radio this morning was unable to answer a question on whether the ACRS scheme for Afghan refugees has actually opened, saying it's a matter for the Home Office, but that it's rather busy with Ukraine. Can the Home Office not manage to deal with Afghan and Ukrainian refugees simultaneously?
Well, I do think it's fair to say that the Home Office is dealing with both Afghan and Ukrainian refugees simultaneously. In terms of the number of appointments made at VAX, to 9 o'clock this morning, there were 4,278. That's across the world, but that's a lot of VAC appointments made. And I was just checking for myself where the main bulk of those appointments were being made, and the vast majority, of course, unsurprisingly, are in Poland. Half of the appointments made in Poland, clearly, and we've got 2 VACs in Poland. For people to be fleeing Ukraine and to be able to go straight to a VAC in Poland is clearly the best and easiest thing for them to do to avoid problems along the way, shall we say.
My Lord.
Yes, the Minister has just told us about the vast majority of appointments being made at VACs in Poland. I know of a family that have been waiting in Warsaw now for some time, and the website hasn't changed. They cannot make an appointment. The helpline, which says it on the website it will be manned 24/7, is not manned over the weekend. Yesterday I asked a question and I was told a team of 4 experts were going to Poland to help build capacity. Can the Minister reassure me that this is being increased and that people in Poland will be able to get VAC appointments so that they can come back home?
Well, if I could tell my noble friend, I mean, it's very difficult to know from a short exchange in a question when they tried to make the appointments and all that sort of detail. But in terms of Warsaw, I know that 1,451 appointments have been made. I will keep her updated. We've got extra capacity in our VACs. I think there'll be 100 additional people trained by the end of the week. But I will certainly take her point back about Warsaw and make sure that everything is running smoothly.
My Lords.
That the government have issued more visas to Russian oligarchs than they plan currently to issue for Ukrainian refugees? And does the Minister's announcement today mean that there is going to be categorically an increase, a vast increase, in the number of Ukrainian refugees accepted?
Well, as I said to noble lords, the figures are uncapped. As many people who want to come here can come here, whether they've got family ties or not. And I think it was estimated last week that under the family routes we might see 200,000. There is no limit on the number of people who can come here through the through this scheme, the humanitarian sponsorship pathway.
My Lords,
my Lords, the government has rightly praised the generosity of the people of the United Kingdom, but there seems to be a systemic problem in allowing that generosity to be exercised. Could the noble lady the Minister say something about the systemic issues, and associated with that, how can we guarantee that the information that is given is accurate? When we look at what's happened in Calais, for example, or we keep hearing from the government that we are leading the way in things that we're patently not.
What I would say to the Right Reverend Prelate is clearly this scheme is new, as of a few days ago. I think I recognised in my answer to one of the questions that we do want the generosity to be captured, because the British people are very, very generous, and I hope that this scheme will be up and running as soon as possible.
Last Wednesday, we were told that the sponsorship scheme would start and given a telephone number. That telephone number was only for Ukrainians. If you phone it today, you're referred to an 0300 number that does not work. Apparently, the Department for Levelling Up are taking a lead on this. This is what I was told in Portcullis House Information Hub yesterday, rather than the Home Office. So can the Minister tell us when there will be information of a streamlined system whereby people who are sponsoring somebody can register that sponsorship and advise those people who are trying to get out of Kyiv?
Well, the sponsorship scheme, as I said, should be up and running very, very shortly. And in terms of JULUC, yes, they are going to be the lead department on it. And I would undertake to the noble lady that when there is a number and when the scheme is up and running, I'm certainly happy to come back to this House and give details of it.
My Lords, surely what is needed is speed as well as numbers. The UK has only admitted 300, while the Republic of Ireland has admitted 1,800 Ukrainian refugees. Why is the UK dragging its feet?
I would wholeheartedly agree with the noble lord that speed and numbers are of vital importance. As of 9 o'clock this morning, I understand that there are now 526 grants under the family scheme, but in terms of the sponsorship scheme, he's absolutely right. We need to do it quickly and we need to do it efficiently.
My Lord, isn't it clear, listening to interventions from around the chamber on all sides, that...
My Lords, in addition to the help that the government is giving Ukrainians to come to this country, will it consider giving humanitarian visas, offering humanitarian visas to those brave Russians, clergy, civil society members, academics, journalists and ordinary citizens who face long prison sentences for exercising their democratic right to oppose this war?
I'm very glad the noble lord asked that question, because I think at this point we need to all stop and remember all those Russian people who are so against or don't even know what is happening in Ukraine. I haven't got any details of that, but certainly it's quite heartbreaking, even when you see Russian soldiers who don't appear to know what they're doing and why, fighting in Ukraine.
Yeah.